Okay, folks, welcome back. This next story I have, I'm going to break into three parts. It gets a little bit long, I suppose, and a little bit convoluted. So to keep it simple, I'm just going to break it into three parts. Part one deals with the Prince of Darkness, our DO at the time, Director of Operations. And that'll give you the background for what the whole story is as it shreds itself out. So the Prince of Darkness was a micromanager, and he would just drive you nuts with his incessant questioning about things. I spend a lot more time asking questions than what the real issue was ever about. To give you an example, he might call me in and say, "Bob, what color is a T-38?" And at the time, they were all white. So, this a trick question or what? Well, sure, it's white. Well, I know it's white, but is it this white, of that white, this white, and so forth. And then when you got done satisfying that, he said, "Well, is it an eggshell white? Is it a gloss?" Oh, God. So he could just drive you nuts. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, when Polecat left Stanival and I took over for him, he pulled open his bottom drawer and he says, "Bob," he says, "these are some notes from the Prince of Darkness." And he says, "All they're doing is jerking you through hoops." He says, "Now you can do with yours any way you want to." He said, "What I found, if I just took the note and put it in my desk drawer here and forgot about it," and he said he forgot about it, and he said life was a lot easier. Well, that made sense to me, so I started putting his notes in the desk drawer, and then when I left, I took them out and threw them away as Polecat had. It gives you some idea what we're dealing with here. So one day I'm in the office and I get a call from Butch. Now, Butch was the operations officer of the 560th at the time. And Butch and the Prince of Darkness used to butt heads. The Prince of Darkness loved jerking Butch off with all kinds of minutia. And he did it through his staff. So staff officer would call Butch and says, "Colonel so-and-so wants you to do this, that, or the other." And Butch will say, "Well, I can't do that. It's against the regulations." So a little staff weenie would go into the Prince of Darkness and tell him that it was illegal, and back and forth they'd go, continually, back and forth. It was not a good relationship at all. But this one day I got a call from Butch, and he says, "Hey, are you busy?" And I says, "No, what's up?" And he says, "Can you come down to the squadron?" And he says, "Absolutely." So I was always looking for an excuse to get out of the office anyway, so I headed down to the squadron. And when I got down there, I walked into Butch's office and closed the door, and the Prince of Darkness was strapping in a jet just outside the squadron. You could see him through the window. And I said, "What's up?" And Butch says, "I just been fired." "What?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Colonel so-and-so came in the office and asked me, well, he didn't ask me, he told me, he said, he said, "I don't know what you have in mind for your future, but," he said, "it's not here in Air Training Command." He says, "You might want to go over to officer assignments and find out what they have available for lieutenant colonels." And that just rattled Butch to the core. He said, the Prince of Darkness continued and said, "We just we had a discussion. We're just not going to support you going forward." That was it. Well, Butch had put his heart and soul into pilot training. He was a good instructor. He was a good supervisor, a good officer, and I just thought the world. His philosophy and mine with respect to student training were so aligned. We both graduated from pilot training there at Randolph within a year of each other, maybe a little bit more, but not much. And we both held the same the standards, held the students to the same standards that we were taught. At any rate, that's the way Butch found out that he was going to be relieved of command and taken out of the squadron commander competition. It just rattled both him and I. I'd never been affiliated with firing like that or been even close to it. So I got back in my truck and headed back up base, and I thought to myself, I wonder when the Prince of Darkness is going to come into my office with my walking papers, because Butch and I were very close at that time, and in a lot of ways, and I thought it was just a matter of time. So with that background in mind, the next story will make probably even more sense to you here. See ya.